Hey there, friends. It's me, Oleg Shlyamovych, CEO of CAS.AI. CAS.AI isn't just about monetization systems. We also publish games But today I want to talk a bit more about the GDPR system, how it affects us, and what it means for developers. GDPR is a comprehensive system. It's a restriction that restricts us in the collection of users' personal data. The only thing the lawmakers came up with is that it's not just sensitive data like name, surname, phone number, and so on, but also the so-called advertising ID. Advertising ID is about how a user interacts with advertisements, which ads they like, which games they enjoy, and how they interact with them. So the Android advertising ID can be calculated in situations where they do not show or provide us with the necessary information. We are dealing with a scenario that is more abstract and challenging to understand from a user perspective. So the main networks can determine what type of device a user has and target expensive devices, cheap devices, what country they're in, what language they use, and then many secondary characteristics such as the publisher ID and so on. But overall, in the end, this user becomes significantly more anonymous. Does this somehow perhaps protect the user from more ads? No, on the contrary, the overall LTV of the user drops because of this, since ad networks can't accurately determine if this user is needed or not, so now they have to show more ads. So this GDPR doesn't improve the user experience, it actually makes it worse. On one hand, we're showing less relevant ads, and on the other hand, these ads are shown more often. Now, how exactly do we deal with this? In fact, you can't really and truly fight it. You just have to absolutely accept it and try to minimize your losses. How? First, make GDPR requests only in the regions where it's required. That means the European Union and the UK. Basically, in California and a couple of other states, we also need to make a similar request. There are certainly extremely small differences from GDPR, but they exist, though they're more or less cosmetic. But we still have to make this request and we have to do it. What happens if we don't do it at all, perhaps? Theoretically, Google and some other networks, in theory, should not show ads in this particular scenario, but they made an unexpected clever move and came in from the side. Yeah, Google came in from the side, and in this case, instead of showing the ad first, they make a request to use personal data. It seems like it's a good thing, but if you haven't integrated this and haven't asked the user in advance, you lose that ad impression when requesting GDPR data. What would I recommend doing? Well, basically, ask them only where you can, and in situations where you can't, you absolutely shouldn't pass on the user's refusal at all. Some developers simply don't pass on personal data to anyone in any circumstance, so actually they're significantly cutting their own revenue. You see, the average revenue from a user who has consented to APD processing is 40–45% higher, so you absolutely have to ask for it. And of course, I'll give you a little tip. In CAS.AI, it's all implemented out of the box. You don't have to come up with anything. You just connect it, check one box. And in the EU countries and the UK, the same thing, GDPR will pop up, a licensed GDPR consent, and in other countries it won't. Folks, I want to wish you to earn more, watch, earn. If you have questions, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Bye-bye.